British adventurer and endurance athlete Isaac Kenyon is on the brink of, well, something pretty spectacular. He might become the first person to complete a full-distance Ironman. Right, you think that's enough on its own, Ironman? But he's wearing an additional 15-kilogram weighted vest. Now, this is, I mean, if you lift a 15K, bag in the gym, you know how heavy that is, right? Imagine doing an Ironman wearing that. Now, the challenge carries a really profound message that resonates with young people with mental health issues faced in our society. Now, Isaac, who is originally from Colney Heath, joins us on the line now. Good morning, Isaac.
Good morning, Baz.
Oh, Isaac.
Great to be on.
Oh, Isaac. When I read this, I thought, I go to the gym 5 days a week, right? And I do some weights and I try and do a HIIT class, but I try and do strength training because I know for a woman of my age, I'm supposed to do it, right? And I do a 15 or a 25K bag and I try and lift it above my head. The thought of running or moving with that weight on you, Isaac, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that this just, metaphorically is the extra thing that can set you off on a bad day, really.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing it as. The Ironman is, you have those challenging days, for instance. You're doing the breakfast show, you're waking up very early to do the breakfast show, that's quite challenging. And then someone throws a curveball on you and you already have some maybe mental health issues, and that is the weighted vest. That's how I see it. So it's overcoming that extra bit of resilience, but also kind of, being more resonating with those who have depression, suicide, and things like this. That the mindset is very, very difficult to get through the day, and then you've got that curveball, and that is that weighted vest.
Now, you're aligning yourself, and the whole reason you're doing this is to promote and talk about World Suicide Prevention Day on September the 10th, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to raise a bit of awareness about. And, it has that greater significance in sort of the Ironman adventure. It's to do with kind of bringing that understanding around mental health, focused around the vital support for individuals facing suicidal thoughts. There has been some, money that's been distributed across the UK towards mental health support because of the cost of living crisis. But it's very small and it's quite insignificant, the amount of money that has been given so far. So, this is all about drumming up more interest and trying to get, significant amounts of funding and support for all these local charities that are trying to prevent people from going down very difficult trajectories with suicide.
Yeah.
I think, small charities like Mid Herts that I'm a trustee of, that I'm supporting as part of the charity, they do a great amount of things. They're very flexible. They were very helpful during the pandemic compared to the bigger charities or the NHS. They were able to change service really fast. And those are the charities that need the most support, because they're the ones that can almost help people quicker than anywhere else. So it's a challenge about World Mental Health and a World Suicide Prevention Day, but also, how can we go from this day and actually take action in terms of more support for something that has been underfunded for many, many years.
Well, I didn't know until I knew you were coming on, and I was reading a bit about you and why you're raising awareness. And one of the stats that I read, which was pretty shocking, it says urgent mental health crisis referrals have tripled in the under 18s.
Yeah.
That is
tripled,
staggering. Isn't it?
That is the fastest growing group within the UK that is getting poor mental health issues. And I think, the stats like that are alarming, and it does kind of promote action. Like, we should be reacting to those stats now. And I really hope that this challenge and, the things that I'm doing with the Ironman, it brings attention to this stat in a different light. And I've had anxiety. I've had suicidal thoughts before in the past, and I've had to go through it all, and it's a really challenging time. And if you don't have the support, it's really hard to get through that.
Well, and especially at that age, Isaac, as well, under 18s, why are our young people suffering so much? Why are referrals, why have they tripled in under 18s, do you think?
Well, from a personal standpoint, this is like my personal opinion. This is not related to any charity or science evidence and things like that. But my particular anxiety and things developed at a young age, but it didn't really come to the forefront until I was sort of in my 18, 19 at university. The sort of the mental health build-up or such starts when you're a teenager, but without we do have the education in place to sort of educate on that. But I do believe it's still, the cost of living crisis, the stresses of climate change, the uncertainty in the future, and also the fact that we have this digital technology that seems to be kind of giving everybody this sort of sense of having to always be connected to technology.
Yes.
And I really believe that my message in this documentary is also to get outdoors, to reconnect, sort of thing. So I found solace and relaxation when I was always outdoors during my bad mental health spell. And I think a lot of kids nowadays, they turn to their phone. I'm struggling. Okay, I'm just going to go on TikTok, and it doesn't really help, does it? Going on TikTok.
No, because you just see lots of beautiful, unrealistic things that you think, well, why aren't I like that? Why aren't I living my best life like they seem to be? Well, because it's nonsense. That's why. It's not real.
Yeah, I believe so. There is scientific evidence to prove that social media is obviously not good for one's mental health if or if you have poor mental health, and especially if you're comparing yourself and things. It can be quite difficult to get through the day whilst looking at that. So I think under 18s have a lot of pressures. And when I was a kid, I didn't really have social media up until I was about 16. I don't think it was invented. So I was able to kind of avoid that. But it's much more challenging time. So I always urge parents or anyone listening to see if you can get them involved in outdoor activities, so they turn to sort of sport or outdoor activities rather than the internet. Because I think the internet sometimes can just feed the problem a bit. You say, I'm feeling like this, and then suddenly it tells you that you might have cancer or something. Google having that sort of natural tools rather than technological tools to get out would help.
So tell me, with the actual Ironman event, it's in a couple of weeks' time. What activities are involved in the Ironman? What are you going to have to do in this 15-kilo vest?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to do quite a lot. It's going to be about 24 hours, I think, in total, because it's much heavier than a normal Ironman would be in terms of weighted load. So I might be stopping a lot. But typically an Ironman, it consists of a swim and a bike and a run, like a triathlon.
You're going to swim with that vest on?
Yes. This is where it's the most challenging part, actually. So I've been training to swim with the vest on. Yeah.
Oh my God! How's that been?
3.8 kilometres. I've got to swim with the 15 kg weight vest. This is probably why no one's ever done a weighted Ironman before. It's going to be really, really hard to do, but I've been training to do it, and I've built up my core strength and things to do that. And then you've got a sort of 150 kilometre, 160 kilometre cycle ride, and a wait, I think I've got that right. And then there's a marathon run at the end.
Oh, just a marathon to finish.
Yeah, so that marathon at the finish is just I think it'll be a bit relaxation, because really the cycle is the longest part. Actually, the bike ride, sorry, I got that wrong. It's 180.2 kilometers, the bike ride, 112 miles. So and the swim is 3.9 kilometers, not 3.8. But sometimes I get the stats wrong on that bit. But the Ironman's going to be
sounds too much, Isaac. I mean, I think it's just fair to say all of it sounds way too much. But well done you for drawing attention to the issues that need to be drawn attention to for World Prevention Suicide Day. Can you let us know where we can find out a bit more information if somebody wants to pass on some information or they're listening now?
Yes, anyone listening, you can find out more about the challenge at isaackenyon.com, and then you can also find out more about the local charity I'm supporting, Minding Mid Herts, and that's mindingmidhearts.co.uk. .org.uk, mindingmidhearts.org.uk, and this journey is a shared testament, resilience, empathy. Let's talk about open conversations, alleviate those hidden weights that many carry, and really drum up the interest for getting more support and funding for mental health services during World Suicide Prevention Day.
Isaac, it's really good to talk to you.